With another episode of boxing matchups. Man, I'm seeing that the WBC decided to put Devin Haney in recess and strip him of the lightweight title. Now is that a bad thing? I mean, not really. I mean, we already knew that Devin Haney had planned on going up to fight Regis Prograis for his WBC title. We know that Shakur Stevenson had petitioned the WBC to get a bigger split to fight Devin Haney for his WBC title. But I don't think that is really a bad thing because yeah, he's in recess and he's somewhat been stripped of the title, but they gave him the opportunity to be able to come back down and fight for that title right away if he decided to come back to 135 and fight for that title and decide to continue campaigning at 135 or try to get the WBC belt back from whoever ended up getting it and having all the belts on the line and fighting Tank Davis if that fight was ever to come to fruition. So it's really not a bad thing. I know a lot of people thought that it might be a bad thing or looking at the WBC like why they putting him in recess. We already know he was going up to fight Regis Prograis, but it kind of give Devin Haney a way out because by him not having to drop the belt and they just put him in recess, he has the opportunity to come back down and fight for that belt right away. Because it's pretty much the same thing that they did to Manny Pacquiao when Manny Pacquiao was put in recess. When Manny Pacquiao got put in recess, if he had the opportunity to come back and fight Yordenis Ugas for that title, if he would have went ahead and fought Earl Spence and he would have lost to Earl Spence, he could have fought Yordenis Ugas for that WBA super title and try to get his belt back. I mean, he ended up fighting Ugas anyway, and we all know what happened with that fight, but I don't think that is a bad thing with what's going on, Ashley? What's going on, MP? What the fuck? My man Mike Biggs, what's going on with you? I don't think that is a bad thing. I think it's kind of a blessing in disguise for Devin Haney. What's going on, Brian Baker? Appreciate you coming through. I don't think I ever seen you before, but I appreciate you coming through. He said they let Jamel keep the belt and Jamal, Canelo, and Tyson Fury, but Devin Haney gets put in recess. Yeah, but like I said, they put him in recess, but it's not so much of him not able to have that belt. What's going on, Skywalker? Appreciate you coming through. It's more so of him not being active at the weight class because he's going up to fight at 140, and they already named, I think if I'm not mistaken, I believe they named Shakur the mandatory. So being though that they named Shakur the mandatory, they don't want to hold up a chance for them to make some money off that belt. So they put him in recess, but if he decides to come back down to 135, he can fight for the WBC belt right away. So, I mean, it's somewhat of a good thing. He said, Ashley said, Devin doesn't sell like those other names. So, yeah, that's true too. Devin is not a household name like Jamel, Tyson Fury, and Jamal. He's not a household name like those guys. Now he's getting there, but he's not a household name yet. But yeah, no, it's not a bad thing. It's like I said, it's actually a blessing in disguise for Devin Haney because he didn't have to drop the belt and move to 140. Because like I said, they named Shakur as the mandatory. He would have had to drop that belt and go to 140 and fight at 140. But being though that they put him in recess, he doesn't have to drop the belt. He could come back and fight for that belt if he decides to come back down. Brian said Jamel was moving up 2 weight classes when he was supposed to fight Tim Tszyu and haven't in 2 years and ain't stripped him. No, he wasn't. And Jamal haven't fighting in 2 years and he ain't stripped him. Jamal But Jamal didn't have a mandatory call for him. Jamel didn't have a mandatory call for him neither, as far as the WBC. Now, Tim Zoo, that's the WBO. That's not the WBC. So them not stripping them is that's two different sanctioning bodies. So the WBO, they haven't called Tim Zoo as the mandatory. The WBC hasn't called a mandatory for Jamal neither. So it really is really two different sanctioning bodies. So you can't say because this sanctioning body doing it and that sanctioning body need to do it. No, they're two different sanctioning bodies. They have their own rules. They don't all work the same way. He said Devin had already sent Shakur a contract, so if he has to fight him at 135 for the WBC, that's not a bad thing. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Shakur is pushing for a bigger split. I don't know if they granted him a bigger split. I don't know. I never heard nothing else behind it. I just know they gave Devin Haney until the 27th to let us know if he was going to fight Regis Prograis or not. And from what it seemed like, he's moving up to fight Regis Prograis. I believe they said it was supposed to be in October. I think the October 29th or something like that. He's supposed to be fighting Regis Prograis. So I mean, it is what it is. Brian said, I feel if Devin beat Regis, he was not coming back to 135 anyway. Yeah, I mean, it's a possibility. I mean, even if he loses to Regis, he might not come back to 135. So we don't know. I think the only way he'll come back to 135, if he does come back to 135, is to fight Tank Davis. I believe that would be the only way he would come down. It would have to be worth his while, because him fighting Shakur Stevenson, yeah, that's a fight that the fans want, but it's not a major fight. Not at this moment. It's not a major fight. So, but him fighting Tank Davis, that's a major fight. That's something that's been building up for a couple of years now, and we all know that Tank Davis is a pay-per-view star. We know that Devin Haney is the undisputed champion at 135, so that's Tank Davis going for undisputed. That's Devin Haney having the opportunity to beat Tank Davis, something that nobody's done. So that's a major fight. But I don't believe that Devin Haney's going to come back to 135, like I said, unless it's to fight Tank Davis. And even then, I still believe that it might be a catchweight. I don't think it's going to be at 135. I think it might be a catchweight, so the belts might not be on the line anyway. So I didn't see it as a bad thing. Like I said, they just put him in recess, and it's pretty much, quote unquote, they stripped him, but they didn't strip him, because he's been put on recess. So when you put a champion in recess, it just means that champion is inactive at that division or inactive in that sanctioning body. So they want to make some money off that belt. And so they're not stripping them. They're just saying, okay, we're going to put your belt up on the line in a vacancy. If you decide you want to come back and fight for that belt, you have first dibs to fight for that belt. That's pretty much what it is. What's going on, Dr. Mock? Appreciate you coming through. My boy Bruce Gans, the OG, what's going on with you? Edgar Sanchez, what's going on with you? Appreciate y'all coming through. Yeah, Ashley said, I don't see Devin coming back to 135 after he fights his first fight at 140. No, I really don't see it neither. I didn't believe that Devin was going to come back, even though I know he said he's going to go up there and test the waters and he'll come back down. But what would be the purpose of coming back down? And like I said, unless it's to fight Tank Davis. And I still believe that will be at a catchweight. I don't think he's going to fight him at 135. What's going on, PGH Big Dog? Appreciate you coming through. So I mean, like I said, I know some of the Devin Haney fans are going to be mad about it, but if you pay attention to what they really did, it's not something to be mad about, because he was going to have to drop the belt, because, like I said, they had named Shakur as the mandatory. So him going up to fight at 140 when they named Shakur the mandatory, he was going to probably have to drop the belt anyway. So I don't really see it as a bad thing. He said, who do you think Tank fight next? Shakur might fight Loma and Devin might fight Regis. I don't know who Tank Davis is going to fight next. I know who I want him to fight next, but I don't know exactly. I think right now, if he's not going to get the Devin Haney fight, or he's not going to get the Shakur Stevens fight, he's going to get the fight that's going to make him the most money. And right now, I know a lot of people don't want to hear it, but right now, Eastside Pitbull Cruz will make him the most money. And maybe a T.O. fight will make him the most money. He can get that T.O. I know Floyd said he wanted to fight T.O. I heard Knockout say that's not a bad idea. But then when I thought about it, that's not a bad idea for him to fight T.O. because if he does fight T.O. at 140 and he gets T.O. belt, then if Devin Haney beats Regis Prograis, now we have a unification at 140 between Devin Haney and Tank Davis, which makes that fight even bigger because now they both at 140 and it's a unification. So I mean, I don't think the T.O. fight will be a bad fight if he take that. He said Bob Arum is going to get Kambosa a title fight. I don't think Bob Arum going to get Kambosa a title fight because Kambosa's not part of Bob Arum. Now I know he fights on a top ranked platform, but that's not his fighter. He just fight on that platform. He's still with Pro Bella, but he just fight on their platform. But who will he fight? Who is he going to fight? He's going to fight Shakur because I doubt if he's going to fight Loma. I mean, they could try to get the Loma fight, but even still, Devin still got the other 3 belts. The only belt that's been available is the WBC, and like I said, they already named Shakur as the mandatory. So Shakur is gonna get first dibs at that belt. So it would have to be Kambosa versus Shakur or Loma versus Shakur if they want to get Loma the title fight. So he said Loma and Kambosa. I mean, yeah, they might do a Loma and Kambosa, but that would probably be for the WBO if Devin drops all the rest of the belts. Because right now, the only belt that's available for anybody to fight for is the WBC. That's the only one that's been put available. Devin Haney still got the other 3 belts. So, I mean, we just got to wait to see exactly what Devin's going to do after this Regis Prograis fight, or he might decide to drop him before the Regis Prograis fight. He said Loma don't want to fight Shakur. Nah, I mean, why would he want to fight Shakur? We just saw what happened with him when he fought Devin Haney. And a lot of people think that Shakur Stevenson is a better defensive fighter than Devin Haney, so it would be a lot harder for Loma to be able to beat Shakur Stevenson if Shakur Stevenson is what a lot of people believe that he is. It would be a lot harder for Loma to beat Shakur. So I don't think Loma will want to fight Devin. But, I mean, who knows? I mean, I'm not in either one of these guys' camps. I know Shakur had called out Loma. He said that's what we wanted to fight when he was moving up from 130. So, I mean, who knows? It would be a good fight for me. I would like to see it. I mean, none of these guys are my favorite fighter. I would love to see all of them fight. I mean, as long as we keep getting these big fights, I'm happy. I don't care who win, who lose. Shit, if it's a draw, we get to see it again. I could care less. I mean, long as the sport of boxing keep giving us these big fights, that's all I'm worried about. I could care less about who they fight next and who's getting a title shot. As long as the big fights is being made and we get a chance to see all these good fights. What's going on, Just Do? He said the walls are closing in. More great fights on the way. Boxing is winning and delivering. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like I said, they put Devin in recess. It's not a bad thing to just give Shakur Stevenson the opportunity to get a belt at 135, and then the only question is who is he going to fight for that belt? That's the question. Is who Shakur Stevenson is going to fight? Is it going to be Loma? Is it going to be Kambosa? Is it going to be somebody else that we're not thinking of? It might be a Frank Martin. I mean, I know Earl's still trying to get that fight for Frank Martin with Shakur, so who knows who Shakur is going to fight. But like I said, it's going to be a big fight. It's going to be a good fight. But like I said, I just wanted to come up here and talk about the situation, like I said, it just popped on my on my phone, and I just saw the WBC because I heard people talking about it, but I didn't see no information about it, and then it just popped up on my phone about 10 minutes ago. I was like, let me go in and do a quick live because I hear a lot of people upset about it. I can't wait for Loma. I can't wait. Loma or Frank Martin will be a great fight. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would love to see Shakur fight Loma, Frank Martin, shit, Tank Davis, Pitbull Cruz, Williams Zepeda, all of them guys, all of those top guys at 135. I would love to see all of those guys mix it up. I don't care who it is. I want to see all those guys mix it up because, like I said, they keep waiting around. These young guys are steady getting fights under their belt, and they get more experience. Pretty soon, these young guys is going to be in the mix. You're going to have Abdullah Mason right there moving up and trying to get these fights with these guys as well. So you gotta be able to maneuver your career the right way, and if you looking at somebody that you might have to worry about, you better get them out the way now, because if you let these guys get experience, the thing is, once they start getting experience, it's gonna be harder. Abdullah Mason is not something to be played with. And like I said, Frank Martin, yeah, he didn't have the greatest showing the last time he fought, but Frank Martin, that's just a learning experience. So he's getting better every fight that he has. I think he's still under 20 fights, or he might have just got his 20th fight. I can't remember if he's still under 20 fights or he just got his 20th fight. His 20th fight. So he's still learning. So I mean, what's going on, Mrs. Knockout? Appreciate you. I'm sorry, Mrs. Skywalker. Appreciate you coming through. God Body. Appreciate you coming through. See if I missed anybody else. Nah, I got everybody else. But yeah, I appreciate y'all coming through. Like I said, I just came up here to chop it up about the news that I hear about Devin Haney. He got 18 fights. Well, okay. Yeah, I thought he was still under 20. But yeah, I was just wanted to come up here and talk about my boy still making headlines, even though he hasn't done anything just yet. He's still making headlines. So I mean, I can't be mad about it. Uh, I can't be mad about it because, like I said, he still has the opportunity to come back to 135 and fight for the WBC if he so chooses to. But I don't think he's going to come back up. What's going on, BBO? Yeah, I just came up here to do a quick live about Devin Haney. I'm still doing my NFL live stream tonight at 7:30. Yeah, I just wanted to come up here and chop it up about Devin Haney being put in recess. But I will be back later for my NFL live stream tonight at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Y'all make sure y'all come through. I got a couple of the guys coming up with their respectable teams, and we're gonna talk about this NFL because NFL is back. First preseason game is tomorrow. The Hall of Fame game is tomorrow. So NFL is back. I'm about to start doing my NFL lives again. Like I told y'all before, I'm gonna be calling the NFL games on Sundays, either the afternoon game or the 4 o'clock game, and then I will be coming back to call the Sunday night game, and then I will be doing the Monday night game and the Thursday night game. So I will be doing 3 live streams a week for NFL. It will be actually 4. It will be the early Sunday game, the Sunday night game, the Monday night game, and the Thursday night game. I will be doing live streams for all of those, and I will be calling those fights. Calling those games. If it's a team that you rock with, I might end up pulling one of the guys up, and y'all help me call the game, because I'm not gonna be just doing my Washington Commanders. I'm gonna be doing every game. I'm gonna be doing the Browns game if they playing on a Sunday night or a Monday. I'm gonna be doing a Atlanta game. Whoever it is, I'm gonna be doing it. So If it's your team and you want to come up and help me call the game, by all means, let me know in the chat or send me a message. If it's a game that you want me to call that I'm not calling or that I don't see or I don't think about calling, let me know and I'll call that game. But what's going on, Big Tex? Appreciate you coming through. Here we go with your dang old Cowboys. Yeah, y'all got cap room problems right now. Y'all got cap room problems. Y'all man Jerry Jones did it again. Put y'all in a bind once again. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about the football later on this evening. But I appreciate everybody coming through. This guy was a Frank Martin opponent, was tough. His shot sound loud like a gunshot. Something something the TV didn't portray. Oh yeah, I mean we know that Frank Martin can definitely punch. We know that he definitely can punch. But like I said, a lot of people just underestimated his opponent. They thought he was just a nobody, and Frank Martin was just going to run right through him. And one thing that I do know is if it's a fighter that fought in the Olympics, especially if they medal in the Olympics, a lot of times those fighters are tough guys. They usually, for the most part, they usually come out there to fight. They don't lay down for nobody. Every once in a while, you'll get some fugazi Olympians that will just lay down and just didn't pan out in the pros. But for the most part, a lot of those guys that was Olympians and the ones that medal, they usually come out there to fight and they don't lay down for nobody. So they usually be a tough opponent. So I didn't think that he was going to run straight through him. When I did my prediction, I thought Frank Martin was going to win, but I didn't think he was going to run through him. I said that this guy was going to be a tough opponent, and that's exactly what he was. He was a tough opponent. He didn't lay down for Frank Martin. But yeah, I appreciate everybody coming through. I'll be back later on this evening at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time for my NFL live stream. If y'all want to talk NFL, come back through. And like I said, I ain't got no problem let people up on the panel and talk this NFL because I know a lot of people love NFL. But it's your boy, Boxing Matchups, D Free. Peace.